Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel here. I hope you guys are doing pretty well here. I actually just finished, for instance, washing the Equinox here with Loki. Just finished making that video. And now, as it's starting to kind of cool down and I'm losing daylight, actually I was watching the video that Frank and I did, the podcast, which went by really fast. I'm going to be doing part 2 with him tonight because we didn't get it finished. But this next video here is going to focus on coating the leather steering wheel, quote, ceramic coating. And we're going to talk about how safe this coating is on leather. And I'm thinking about just doing half of the leather to kind of just see how it holds up here on the leather steering wheel. And just kind of see how it holds up versus like a quote, leather conditioner type product, and kind of just compare it. So we're kind of see how it holds up. I'm thinking about just doing half of it. I'm not really sure. We'll see how this video goes if I do the entire thing. Essentially, the steering wheel here is not true, genuine leather. This is a coated, which has a top coat, synthetic leather. It's not real leather. Most vehicles today have some sort of top coat on the leather surface, and that leather surface is usually a vinyl surface. And then you have like Tesla, which has vegan leather, which is the fancy term for a synthetic leather. So that's what the steering wheel is. Now, the coating I'm going to be using here, I'm going to be using Jade Pearl, which is their leather and vinyl coating. I did reach out to Chris Gallagher because I did have questions about leather coatings, because we've all heard that from leather experts, that we've deemed leather experts, that we shouldn't be using a coating on leather because it's going to lock out the leather, it's going to lock out the pores, and it's going to dry out the leather, and it's going to degrade the leather faster. We've all heard those type of statements when it comes to using a coating on leather. So I asked Chris Gallagher, who's the chemist of the Jade products. He's the chemist that does Jade, Adams, many different products. But I reached out to him. Him and I have a pretty good relationship. I can just reach out to him, ask him questions. And I was asking him the same type of questions about this. Is this coating safe on, quote, leather surfaces, which this is a vinyl surface? Is it going to lock me out? Is it going to dry out? Is it going to keep it from the leather being breathable? And he said, no, it's not going to do that. So this coating is breathable, and it's not going to do what it's been told to us by all these leather people. Ethos does the same thing with their coating. When I talked to Tim, he says his is breathable as well. And so I can't argue with what the chemist has done, because the chemist had to have made this work with their leather surfaces, leather and vinyl surfaces. These coatings can also be used on plastic surfaces as well. And then the same thing for like the Sea Quartz Leather 2.0. I kind of just want to make those statements here. That I did talk to Chris Gallagher, the chemist at B&B, about Jade Pearl, and I asked him if it's safe. He said yes, and so we're going to go ahead and use that today. Now let me go ahead and flip the camera over, and here's the steering wheel here. Pretty straightforward. I don't think I can zoom out anymore on here. I'll put the camera down in a minute, but I ended up just cleaning the steering wheel with Ethos Fresh, which is it says all-purpose interior cleaner. It's a real good cleaner. I really enjoy this one. So Tim sent me that a long time ago. So I used that to clean the surface. And then I didn't even do a panel wipe. You could do a panel wipe if you wanted to. I didn't do one. Tim says that this product, Fresh, doesn't leave anything on the surface to cause any issues with the coating application. And so that's why I wanted to end up using that, because I have used his coating with Fresh, and it did pretty well on the surface here. So let's go ahead and set you down here, and I'll see if I can get you guys on camera. So let me go ahead and shake this a bit here, and we're going to talk about this coating here. So Jade Pearl here, again, it's designed for leather and vinyl, and with this product, now I have used it, I'm shaking it here off camera, but I have used this once. I use it on a leather piece that's not in a car. I just had a leather piece lying around. Now this coating here does have the UV tracer in here. And what I mean by the UV tracer, so if I have the UV light and I shine it, you can see it does have that glowing feature on there. So that's what the UV tracer is does for these type of products. And the Jade product line tends to use the UV tracer for most of their coatings, other than the glass coating. So I'm going to just use a little piece of suede here. I'm going to take the top off here, and I'm just going to load some product here. You're not going to be able to see this. I'm going to switch hands here so you can see how much coating I use. So this does have a big opening, and so that kind of prime my applicator. So I'm going to go ahead and put the cup cap back on there just in case I don't spill it in here. Okay, so we're going to put that down. And what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and put you here, and we'll divide this in half. So we're going to do just half from here. It smells pretty good too. It has I think that feels like they try to mimic the, go ahead and get the scent of leather. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that there. So right now it looks like it really changed the look of it. But that's because it went on pretty wet. So let me put that down here on my pants here. So that's what it looks like going on wet. Now there's no set time on how much to let this set up. I'm gonna let it set for just a couple seconds here. But you can see it does. You can see where the 50-50 is up here. It's right here. Again, I'm losing daylight. But what I could do is I could take the UV light here. It's kind of blurred out. You can kind of see it here. I think there you go. You can actually see the color change on the right hand side. It looks like a little blob. That's where I applied it. And so that's why the UV tracer portion comes into play. Again, the light kind of washes it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just lightly wipe this off. Flip my towel over. Just go over it one more time. Just make sure I don't have any excess product left on there. So that's all there is to use this coating. You can tell right. So this is where I stopped, and here's where I didn't. I think I'm going to coat this because I wouldn't be able to. My OCD would kick in and to just not. This is unacceptable to me here. But that's what it looks like. Let's see how we can see this with the UV tracer light. Kind of hard to see. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because it's not dark enough here. That's the only problem with this, but the blotch is right there. You can actually see it, the little blotch there, as I'm playing around with the light here. So that's what the UV tracer is in there. But because sometimes, normally for those of you that work in a garage semi, like Camaro's in there, and sometimes it's dark in there, you can actually just get yourself a UV light and kind of just see where you've applied it to, and it will look a little, have that pinkish hue kind of look to it, the purplish bluish hue. But that will tend to kind of go away as the coating kind of cures. So I want to just kind of show you that. Let's just go ahead and finish coating the rest of this here, because again, I don't want to just leave it like that because it looks weird. So let me just go ahead and put this here, and then I'll put a little bit more coating on here. But you can see it doesn't really alter the look that much. It still looks rather OEM. It just enhances the look a little bit. So let me just put a little bit more product on there. Well, actually, so these bottles tend to have a bigger opening. So again, I just reloaded my applicator. I'll bring the camera back here, and we'll just go ahead and knock this out here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my left hand as I apply this, because it's just easier. So I did overlap it a little bit. That's okay. It won't look weird or anything. Just gonna kind of going over to make sure I have even coverage. And the reason why I'm doing this is I wanted to see, so I was driving this for like almost every day on the freeway when I was going for jury duty. And what I noticed is, with my hands being on here, the steering wheel felt a little like sticky. And that's just from me grabbing the steering wheel. Whether I had sweat on my hands or some lotion on my hands, it felt sticky. And so I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and try putting a coating on here, and let's see if the coating resists my body oils more so than the like a conditioner and whatnot. And we'll see. That's one of the reason why I'm doing this. I wanted to test this out and kind of see how it does from a user standpoint. So I'm gonna let this kind of wipe this off here. Switch over to my left hand here and hold the camera with my right hand. Again, it's just very simple to use, and I know there's going to be people like, you shouldn't be coating leather. To be honest, I've never had issues using a coating on leather. I think to me that's a little bit overblown, but I don't claim to be a leather expert. But I've never had issues with coating leather, and I've used like C-Quartz leather. I've used Geon leather shield. I've used the Diamond Protect diamond leather, which was actually pretty good too. Ethos, and I'm going to be testing out this one to kind of see how it does on this. It feels real good on here. Feels relatively slick on the surface. My towel's just kind of gliding on there, and you can see that the finish looks rather OEM because I didn't put any. This has the diamond interior coating, but you can see it looks pretty OEM too. So the steering wheel looks really good in terms of applying a coating to it. And if I wanted to check, again, I could just use the UV tracer, the light. Again, the light from the outside is washing it out. I can actually see it a little bit here, just from the hue that it has on there. So to do pretty good on there. I want to check something here. I think this is a missed spot right here. So let's just go ahead and apply that, because it looked a little blotchy here, like I missed a spot. And I'm going over the stitching here. And let's go ahead and wipe this off. So again, pretty straightforward in terms of application. Yeah, it looks better. So pretty straightforward in terms of its application. We're going to just kind of see how this holds up. I'm going to just see how this holds up over time. It should hold up pretty well. Like I said, what I want to know is is it going to resist my body oils more so than not having anything on the surface. Like, 'cause normally I would use the Color Lock leather shield on here and kind of just see how it holds up. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So I just want to give you guys a quick little look at the application of Jade Pearl. I'll flip the camera over. So yeah, that was the application of Jade Pearl, which is a leather and vinyl coating here. Hopefully you guys can actually see it. So you can see that the finish looks OEM. And if you wanted to, so if you're applying this in the garage and it's kind of dark and you don't know if you've applied it evenly to the surface, you can just get yourself one of the UV lights. Adams has, those are both, I bought those at Adams. You can buy them anywhere. I think the wavelength is 395, is it nanometers? Something like that. I'll post the information that you need for a light in there. Actually just post links to these two if you want to invest into any of the Jade stuff or the Atom stuff that uses the UV tracer on there. So the application, again, you saw, pretty straightforward. In terms of cleaning, all I used was that Ethos cleaning. The steering wheel was clean because I cleaned it middle of the week. I used Pilot because, like I said, the steering wheel was feeling a little sticky. So I just gave it a quick little wipe down with Pilot. And then today I ended up giving it a deeper clean with this Ethos Fresh. And then I just went with the coating application on top of that. And you saw how easy it is to apply. And if I wanted to, I could use the light, but I'm outside, and so the lighting conditions are pretty good. I can't complain because it's still daylight here. It's like 4 o'clock. So that's where I am. I want to show the application of this. We'll see how this holds up over time. And yeah, it doesn't feel, at least under the towel, it doesn't feel really sticky. And yes, this is going to add a hydrophobics to it. But again, it's not going to, if I spill anything, it's not going to spill on the steering wheel. But I'm primarily using it to see how well it resists oils from my hands, and if it stays less sticky because it's resisting those oils. More than likely, probably not. I'm probably going to still need regular cleaning with a quick detailer of some sort. Will that quick detailer with a microfiber towel abrade the coat? Will it abrade through the coating? That's another thing that we got to take into consideration is if we're using a cleaner. Say I'm using, for example, just pick Pilot because I was just talking about Pilot. If I'm using Pilot with a microfiber towel and I go over the surface, is that going to abrade the coating that's already there? So is coating a steering wheel not worth it? Basically is what we're getting at. And again, we'll see. Again, the UV tracer will eventually fade out, so I won't be able to test to see if it's still on the surface. So something to keep in mind as we move forward here. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Actually, I'm curious to hear, do you guys believe that ceramic coatings, let's say leather and vinyl coatings, are bad for your interior vehicles? I'm really curious to hear what you guys think. When I first heard that, I was like, okay, it makes sense. Those solvents in those products can be dangerous, but not all solvents are created equal, and everybody's chemistry is a little different. And I think we're to the point where coatings are actually safe to use in terms of your interior, where they're not going to damage the interior. We've come a long way. And so I was on the verge, I was on that side too, where I said, no, I'm not going to coat anything. I'm just going to use conditioners and all that. And most of the time I do. I think for leather seats, I still stick to a leather conditioner or a leather seat, like the color lock combination. But I wanted to see how, again, I wanted to coat the steering wheel to kind of see how this works out. So again, hopefully, again, I'm kind of just rambling here, but yeah, let me know what you guys think on leather coatings versus leather, quote, conditioners and protectants. Let me know what you guys think. And again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one. So take care, everyone.